Hey guys, welcome back to Racing Up, and in today's video we're going to cover Will MotoGP's celebrated world champion Marc Marquez win a race again. If you are new to this channel, remember I would greatly appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, so you make sure you keep up with all of the motorsport content I do from the world of Formula 1, NASCAR, IndyCar and MotoGP. So let's roll the intro. So we go back to 2020. Marc Marquez had won the 2019 World Championship and had pretty much dominated. There was a couple of races that he didn't win, including the British Grand Prix, where he was robbed of victory at the very literal last second. Marc Marquez was doing the 2020 Valencian Grand Prix when he crashed out of third place. So, he'd crashed out of third place, and it had been a huge, massive crash, and it would derail the rest of the 2020 campaign, in which Marc Marquez would ultimately never return to and finish a grand 25th in the World Championship, 25 place lower than he had the previous year. So 2021 was the fight back, except it wasn't quite. He won 3 times, including a great pole position, but only finished 7th in the World Championship. It was all going wrong for Marc Marquez, including 6th place at the US Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas, where he'd previously dominated at and only been beaten once in all of his starts at the circuit. In 2022 would be another similar story to 2020, another huge crash and another missed season again. Marc Marquez had absolutely fallen from mercy. It wasn't the same as Valentino Rossi, where over years he'd been generally beaten. It was the fact that all of these massive crashes were really costing him. So then came 2023, except his Honda bike was no longer one of the class of the field. Marc Marquez didn't have that great of a season, didn't win any races, so which means he hasn't run a race since 2021 and hasn't won a championship since 2019. So in 2024, Marc Marquez moved to the Ducati team, except it wasn't that. It was in the factory team. Instead, it was basically just the second team in MotoGP, basically, for Ducati. And basically, Marc Marquez has had a decent season. He's 4th in the World Championship and should have been 3rd had he not had a crash with the world champion in Portugal. So overall, it's been a return to form for Marc Marquez. But the question is, can he win a race this year? And can he win ever again? Well, next year, of course, Marc Marquez is going to join the current world champion in MotoGP, and that is going to be a hard challenge. The man he's going to be teammates with has won the last couple of championships, and though he's not leading the current world championship, with Martin currently doing that, Marc Marquez is going to have his hands full. In the same way Valentino Rossi had his hands full when he was fighting against Lorenzo and Marquez, it's going to be the same way. MotoGP's never been more competitive, and Marc Marquez is arguably past his prime. But can he really win again? Well, this form this year has showed that he hasn't lost any of his speed or skill. And personally, I do see him winning a race. But this year, well, it's possible this year, but the MotoGP season doesn't have that many rounds to run, and the World Championship battle hearts up. He's certainly out of the equation to win this year's World Championship in what is going to turn into a 3-way title scrap. Marc Marquez will just be dreaming of one last win before he goes on to another team next year. Overall, Marc Marquez should have won more championships in his career. Obviously, crashing in 2020 and the 2022 seasons has really derailed his efforts. And it's not until next year we'll find out really if Marc Marquez has lost any of his skill or speed. But from the data from this year, I definitely believe Marquez can win a race, at least multiple wins. But the question remains to be if he can win the World Championship once again. This season, he's took many podiums, including a pole position, which was the highlight, though he couldn't convert it into a win. He was looking good in Portugal, but then he collided with Francesco Bagnaia over what could have been a great win for Marquez. He's closed in many times, but he hasn't managed to win at all this year, but he's getting closer and closer, and it's only a matter of time before Marquez can return to the MotoGP top step again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.